And so the key points on why that job ad worked so well is, number one, I explained exactly what was needed. Number two, I asked for a sample before anything. So I asked them to go on my blog and create a sample. There were a few steps. So I asked for the purple cow, I said I needed a sample, and then I also asked them to tell me how long it'll take me. So the purple cow, like I said, alone will weed out 70% of people. Putting in the other steps, that's going to weed out another 15%. So immediately I'm down to the best 15% that can do the job for me. I asked for the price for 50 comments, not an hourly price. I'm going to go in a little bit on why paying people hourly is the worst possible thing you could do. And then in the future, I would probably just include a sample that people could refer to, just so they could kind of see the types of sample comments that I'm looking for. So once you post the job advertisement, you start getting the candidates. In order to select the best people, first thing is you want to immediately reject anybody who didn't follow all your instructions. You know off the top they can't follow instructions. They're not good for you. You want to look at the bids. So if there's bids that are too high or even too low, you want to knock them off. And the reason that I knock off the bids that are too low, or a lot of times people might get ambitious, but in my experience, if they're getting paid too low, they might do maybe 10 comments and then realize, hey, you know, this sucks, I'm getting paid way too cheap for this, and they'll just stop working. So I want to look for people that give reasonable rates, so I know they know what they're talking about, they know what the job entails and everything. I look at their feedback. So if there's no feedback, I'll talk about having them do a small job first, because I'll let them know, you don't have any feedback, I don't really know how this is going to work out, let me give you a sample job to see if I can trust you. Wordsmithed in a nicer way. Or I might ask them for a few references. If they don't have good feedback, then I'll just immediately decide they're not for me. And then I also usually ask follow-up questions just to gauge how quickly they're going to respond. It might not even be a question I need to know the answer to, but I want to see if they're responding to me in an hour, if they're taking 3 days to respond. I mean, if they're taking a couple days to respond, it's not for me. I'm the type of person I want everything done yesterday. I know, they're not for me. The other thing I like to do is I confirm the deadlines with people. Deadlines are really, really important to me, probably to you guys too. So when I'm talking to them, I reiterate the importance of why deadlines need to be met. There's times that I actually tell people, I need it by this deadline, and if it's not, then we work out where they actually make less money if they don't get it done by that deadline. And that's just because I've worked with so many hundreds of providers at this point. I'm just I've heard so many excuses now, it's just I try to combat that from the beginning. I definitely let people know, even if I don't do something with the money, I let them know their feedback's going to be affected if they are not able to meet deadlines. And I say it in a nice way, it's not harsh or mean or anything, but it's still, if you don't get deadlines, it's not going to work out very well for the feedback. And then I always let them know if I have more work will be given if they have good quality and they meet the agreed upon deadlines that we both agreed on.